will discuss how we have to take a new GST registration number. Nowadays, government focus is to make more and more things digital. And GSTIN network is a digital network where everything is done digitally or electronically. For example, the first step is start from the registrations, then return filing, etc. Everything or every communications, even the order, assessment order, show cause notice, everything is through portal. So first step we will discuss today how to take new registrations. New registrations we can say is taken by different persons. Some apply voluntary and some apply because of crossing certain threshold turnover. Some apply as a casual, some apply as a composition dealers, etc. etc. There are a lot of things, and we are going to cover some of these things over here. First thing, how to take registrations is GSTN portal. So first of all, we will go to GSTN portal and see where we can file for the GSTN registrations. This is the GSTN portal. It is available on gst.gov.in, and here in the service sections there is a registrations and where we will go for new registrations. And in new registrations there are two tabs. One is the new registration and second is the temporary reference number. So temporary reference number we will come later on. First we will start with the new registrations because we have to fill the some part 1 and then we will come to TRN. So that I will explain later. First we have to put who you are. So we have to write I am a taxpayer, means a person who has to pay tax on the supply of goods or services, or whether it is a tax deductor. Tax deductor has to deduct tax, and e-commerce operator is a tax collector, so his registration process is separate. GST practitioner can also take registrations that we are not touching upon in today's topic. Non-resident taxable persons, it is also like a casual persons who has to take registration if they want to sell goods or services in India. United Nation body, these are the persons who take unique identification numbers to claim input tax credit. Similarly, the consulate or embassy of the foreign countries, they also tag unique identification number to take back their input tax credit. Other notified persons, and last is the non-resident online service provider, which is called ODIR services. So we have to select one of them. Suppose we are the taxpayer, so we have to select taxpayer. Then in which state you are going to take registrations. Suppose you are in Delhi, and you are providing services from Delhi, then you have to select Delhi. Then the next step comes, which is the district, whether you are in the East Delhi, West Delhi, South Delhi, Sadra, where are you? Suppose I select East Delhi. And then the name comes, legal name. What should be the legal name of business? It should be exactly the same as is written on the pen. Suppose in the pen, we have written AS Enterprises, then it should be written as AS Enterprises. Otherwise, in validations, we will face problems. So it should be the same. Then next is the permanent account number. It has to be filled in. Then email address. This should be very carefully filled in because all the authentications email will come on this email ID. Similarly, this is the mobile number. This should be Indian mobile number. It cannot be foreign mobile number. And OTP will be sent on this. And it should be valid number. And then there are the type of character you see in the captcha. So that has to be written, that has to be entered into. Then we will come to this all information we have filled, and then we will click the proceed button. On clicking the proceed button, GSTN portal will display all the GSTIN or provisional ID, UIN, GSTP ID mapped to the PAN number across India. Suppose we have registration also in the UP, and now we are going for apply for Delhi. Then when we are going to apply for Delhi and we have entered the PAN number, so this GSTIN process will tell that you already have the GSTI number in UP. So this is the detail. Now we have to proceed further. So OTP verification will be done. So now the screen will come for OTP verification. So OTP will come on your mobile as well as on the email ID. On the mobile, whatever the OTP comes, we have to put in verify OTP of mobile OTP and email OTP. And then we have to click proceed. After clicking the proceed, the system generated temporary reference number is displayed. And this reference number you will also receive on your email ID as well as on mobile number. So first step in the process has been completed, that is your TRN number has been generated. And when first step will be is completed, you will click on the proceed, and proceed will take you to this portal. We have shown temporary reference number. Generally, two things I have told you for new registration. One is the new registration and second is the temporary registration number. New registration is the part A, which we have to fill, and then TRN is generated. Up to this stage, whatever information is saved, that is saved, and the TRN number has been given, and temporary reference number we will use to move further. It is very critical document. We have to keep it in some place so that later on we can enter it and proceed with the full registrations. Now we will come to what is in the part B. I have already shown you that this screen will come, and here you will enter the TRN number and CAPTCHA and click the proceed button. And after doing this, their new screen will come, which will say verify OTP. Here the OTP has to be verified, and then click proceed. Then this screen comes, which is saying that this is the expiry date of TRN. TRN expiry date is 15 days. Before that, we have to make application complete. Otherwise, this application is lost. And we have to again apply in part A. And here there is a blue color tick, which is action button. We have to click on this. We have to click on this, and then this screen comes. Here there are 10 columns, 10 tab, we can say: business detail, promoter or oblique partner detail, authorized signatory, authorized representative, principal place of business, additional place of business, goods and services, bank account detail, state specific information, and then verification. And up to this stage, only 5% work is done. Balance 95% has to be done by putting information in all these tabs. Now we will come to first tab, business tab. Here we have to fill the basic business detail required. In the option for composition field, here there is various field will be covered, such as this composition dealer. If it is a composition dealers, for this about this we will talk later in separate videos. But here we will say, if we have to take registration for the composition dealer, we have to click this, and yes will appear. If we want as a regular registration, we will click no, then this will not appear. But I am explaining you what if composition dealers registration is done, what has to be done. Then we have to take in these three categories where we want registrations, and only one category we have to put, and then we have to declare. And this is the composition dealer. Another dealer is the casual taxable persons. I have already explained in another video what is the casual taxation taxable persons. Casual taxable persons is a persons which do not have a registration in a state in which he want to do business, other than his home place of business, for which he has the registration number, or he may have not the registration number. So in case of casual taxable persons, he has to take registration maximum of 90 days in one go, and he has to deposit the tax in advance by estimating his turnover and his net tax liability, not gross tax liability. Net tax liability is gross tax liability minus input tax credit. So this detail has to be filled up by casual taxable persons. This is the detail which you have to fill up in the business sections why we need registration. One is you have crossed the threshold. Threshold limit as per section 22 is for goods 20 lakhs, for services 20 lakhs, for normal estates. But due to by notifications, for certain states which have opted, this threshold limit is 40 lakhs for goods only. So that depends on in which state you are dealing. So upon crossing the threshold limit, you have to go for the registration, or you can go for registrations voluntary also, voluntary basis. Further, interstate supply. For interstate supply, section 24 is there, which say you have to take compulsory registrations, but there are notification under section 23 subsection 2, which says up to 20 lakhs rupees. In case of normal estate, you need not take registrations for providing services. For providing goods, definitely you have to take. So these are the various things you have to take registration. Next is the liability to pay as recipient of goods for services, transfer or succession of business, that I have already told in the registration video, that it is from the date of transfer you have to take registration. Death of the proprietor, it is also the successions. So here we have to take registrations. Demerger, what is the demerger? Demerger, basically separation of one separation of one part of a company to a new entity. X Limited is a company and it has a undertaking which is manufacturing biscuits. So biscuit division is being demerged to the new entity Y Limited. So Y Limited will be the demerged entity and it has to take registrations from the date of demerger. Prior to that, it does not have any registration because it was a part of undertaking of X Limited. Similarly, input service distributor, they have to take. Selling through e-commerce operator, I have already told that if any person sell through the e-commerce operator, he has to take registrations upon crossing certain threshold. It is as per section 24. Supplies on behalf of taxable persons, SEZ unit, SEZ developers registration. If we have to take, there is a process of SAP in this form itself where you have to click this button, yes. Are you applying for the registration as a SEZ? In case of normal registration, we will click it to no. If it is click as yes, SEZ unit, then we have to select the name of the SEZ which is given in the approval letter. SEZ entity is generally approved by the governments. Then there should be the approval order number, approval date, and designation of the approving authority, who is approving it. So that has to be written. And next is the next tab is the promoter or partner tab, etc., where we have to give information about name of the persons, father name, his photographs, etc., and his PAN number, email ID, phone number. In case of companies, private limited, public limited, public sector undertaking, unlimited company, foreign company, etc., DIN, director identification number, is compulsory, mandatory. In case of promoter or partner, is also authorized signatory. Generally what happens in case of promoters, authorized signatory is also the same because it is a one person's company. Then there is a tab, we have to click on that tab at the end of the page that he is also the authorized signatory. In that case, next tab which says the authorized signatory need not be filled up, it will be auto-populated. Here we can upload PDF or JPG file with the maximum size of 1 KB. Authorized signatory tab, generally what happens in case of companies, in case of proprietor, authorized signatory is the same, but it may be different also. But in case of the companies, registration taken in the name of companies, and it is authorized signatory is made the persons working in the companies who are directly dealing with the governments or this tax authorities or their directors, etc. In that case, authorized signatory tab is filled up with the name, address, mobile phone numbers, email address, etc., and their pictures. Next is the authorized representative tab. In some case, we can say registrations is not being sought by the direct parties. directly by parties. They go to the chartered accountant, cost accountant, or some company secretary, or some other persons, tax practitioner, who is going to take registration on behalf of the persons. In that case, authorized representative tab will be filled up by those persons, so that they can also negotiate with, they can also directly deal with the government authority on registration, etc. Principal place of business or business tab, it is the principal locations where the books of accounts, etc. is kept in the company. So this tab gives the information about location of the office, their pin code, their uh, address, etc., and whether this address is uh, rented or self-occupied, self properties, etc. If case of the rent, then leasehold or rent agreement has to be attached. So this detail is there, nothing great. uh, Next is the goods and service tax, service tab. Here we have to fill up the detail of the top 5 product or services, top 5 goods or services for which are going to be supplied by the business. So their HSN code has to be filled in. So this is also not a problem. Bank account tab is not mandatory at the time of filing registration. It can be done later on also. State specific information, if any, it can be done. Other authentication tab, I personally recommend that we should always go for other authentication for these applications. Uh, I will when we will go to step 2, 3, etc. Then we will come to know why we are recommending that we should go for the other authentications. This is the other authentication process, and then validate Aadhaar number, and then our registration process. When we have not opted uh, for Aadhaar, then this is a separate process, but we recommend that we should go for the Aadhaar authentications. And this is the verification tab. In the verification tab, generally what happens, there is a declaration, I hereby declare, etc. So those declaration is there, so that we have to tick and give the business address, etc., authorized signatory name, etc. And then in case of company, we can file it with the digital signatures. In case of others, it can be the electronic verification code. So this can be done. And after verifying this, OTP will come. And after verifying this OTP, application reference number will be generated, which will be sent on the email ID and the mobile number, which has been filled in part A. Next, now we come to the step 2. On receipt of the above applications, an acknowledgement shall be issued electronically to the applicant in Form GST Reg 2. This is the ARN number, application reference number. This is application reference number. After that, what will happen? The application shall be forwarded to the proper officers who shall examine. GSTN portal will forward it to the proper officers of the GST department, who shall it may go to the state GST officer, or it may go to the center GST officer, depending upon the allocations between the center and state. These officers, proper officers, shall examine the applications and accompanying documents, and if the same are found to be ordered, approve grant of registrations within a period of 7 working days. It is not 7 days, it is 7 working days. Working days means days which are working days and not on holiday, Saturday, Sunday, etc. The date of submission within 7 working days from the date of submission of the applications where the application is found defective, then in that case, they will inform the reason and they will ask certain clarifications, but that they can ask within 7 working days from the date of submission of application. It means they have two alternatives. One is to ask for the deficiency, or second, they have to approve the applications. These two steps, they have to done either or. Now, the important thing is that where a persons other than notified persons fail to undergo or did not opt for Aadhaar authentication, or proper officer with the approval of an officer authorized by commissioner deems it fit to carry out registrations, verification, physical verifications, the notice may be issued in REG 3 within 30 days. It means if the persons has gone for Aadhaar authentications, within 7 days he will get the registration or he will get the deficiency memo. But if he does not go through the Aadhaar authentication, then this problem may also be there. Then the person shall submit a reply within a period of 7 working days from the date of receipt of such notice. Next, step number 4, when no reply is submitted by the applicant to the government department, or where the personal or proper officer is not satisfied with the clarification given by the applicants, the application may be rejected and the process are to be recorded in writing and communicated to the applicant in REG 05. Next is if no action is taken by the proper officer within a period of 7 working days from the date of submission of the application, in case of the persons who have undergone an Aadhaar authentication, or within a period of 30 days from the date of submission application in case of persons not undergone Aadhaar authentications, or within period of 7 days from the date of receipt of clarification, the application shall be deemed to be approved. So what is better? Better is going through the Aadhaar authentications. And if everything is all right, then a certificate of registration in form GST REG 06 will be given by the GSTI, showing the principal place of business and additional place of business also. Such certificate shall be duly signed or verified through electronic verification code by the proper officer. And now the last process is step 6. After the certificate has been granted, the registered person shall, within 45 days from the date of grant of registrations or from the date on which the return required under section 39, whichever is earlier, furnish information of the detail of bank accounts on the common portal. The bank account number which I told is not required to be filled at this stage, has to be filled subsequently after the allotment of the GSTN number. And this provision of bank account is not applicable for persons who have registered to comply with the provision of TDS or TCS, and persons who have been granted suo motu registration. So this was all about the registrations procedures, what we have to do, how it has to be done, what precaution we have to take. But we have to remember that all the documents we have to keep in PDF file or JPG file up to 1 MB or given specific, or if the portal has specified a certain limits, so we have to check in the computer whether that is within that limit or not. If it is not within that limit, we have to reduce the size and only then upload. Thank you very much for your participations.